So in 2004, I got a piece of equipment, cost $62,830. No salvage value, and I'm going to depreciate it for 10 years.
6,283.
Okay, yeah, we're going to use straight line, it tells us. And it tells us the depreciation is all up to date. We've done it right the whole 10 years. So this one's easy to get the depreciation expense per year, because I'm going to need to know that. If I'm getting rid of something, I need to get rid of the equipment and its accumulated depreciation. How much is in my accumulated depreciation come the end of 2013? You got to know how much to get rid of before you can get rid of it.
Should be zero. It was retired.
Well, at the end of 2013, it wasn't retired yet. It was retired the next day. Because we're on January 1 of 2014. So at the end of 2013, what balance would I have had in my accumulated depreciation?
6283.
Yes. Well, how much?
62,000.
62,830. All of it. Because starting in 2004, my first year of depreciation, I had 6283. And I did that for the next 10 years. So all the way through 2013. Does everybody see this, what I just did here? The first year times it by 10 years, because I've had it for 10. When I retire it, I don't get anything. Cash would be like saying, if it helps you, say cash debit of 0. And then why did I get 0 cash? Well, it doesn't hardly make sense in this case, but I got rid of the equipment. So I'm going to need to credit the equipment, debit the accumulated depreciation. They got to get off my books when I get rid of the asset. So that one ended up being easier than it looked. June 30th. I have another piece of equipment I'm talking about, a computer. So we had a computer that was purchased in 1/1 of 2011. $36,350. First thing I need to determine is how much should I have in my accumulated depreciation as of the end of 2013. Walk me through how you got that, and let's see if how you did it. Tell me how you did it.
I took the cost.
Okay,
And then
36,350.
it said it had no salvage value.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I I was looking at the next one. Go ahead. No salvage value, so minus 0.
Obviously 0, and then divided it by 5.
Good.
And then I got 7,270, and I times that by 3.
Good. 7,270 times by 3 years. And you said that was 21 what? 6? No, 7?
No, 8.
8, 10.
June would only be a half a year, so.
True. Well, we haven't. We have. All we've done is gotten the books up to date as of the end of last year.
Okay.
So notice I'm only at 2013. I haven't done the new year yet, and that's what we're going to do now. How much? What's my journal entry going to be for 2014? How long did I have the equipment in 2014?
6 months.
6 months. So I can't use another 7270. I can only use what?
Half of it.
Which is,
36, 35.
I can only depreciate 3635. So I've got a new total.
25,445.
Thank you. Now, it doesn't ask us this, but this may help us here in a second. What's the book value of my equipment, of my computers, before I sell them? $10,000 what? Or is it 9?
905.
10,905, yeah. My equipment's on my books at 10,905. I sold it for 15,000. Should I have a gain or a loss? Should I have a gain or a loss?
Have a game.
Gain. That's what we're going to do on the slide up here. What did I get when I sold the equipment?
You got cash.
Cash. And remind me how much that was. 15 what?
540.
540?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why did I get the cash? I got rid of my 2 items here, so I need to do that. Credit the computer. Debit my accumulated depreciation. We determined that I brought in more than the computer was worth on my book, so I had a gain. Gains are always a credit, and that makes sense because right now my journal entry does not equal if I would just leave it at that. My debits are almost 41,000, and my credit is only at 36. So I obviously need to have another credit here as a gain for, what is it?
4,635.
635?
Yeah, read that now.
I think it's right.
No, that's right.
let's work through this one. Got to start in the same place I did last time. I need to go ahead and get a, it helps if I can go ahead and get a yearly depreciation amount and determine then where am I at as of the end of last year. And then I can do this year's stuff. So at the end of last year, I need to determine what my depreciation expense was per year. And they tell me the cost was $39,550 less the salvage value. And then I'm going to have it for 6 years. So I have an annual depreciation of $6,020. And I'm going to do that for 4 more years, for 4 years total. Oops, 2010. So 6,020 times 4 total years.
24,000.
Yeah, $24,080 is where I was at as of last year. Now all I got to do is do this year's depreciation because I had it the entire year. We're in December. So I would need to do my depreciation entry for another $6,020. I had it the entire year. And then it tells me I just got rid of the truck. I didn't, unfortunately, get anything for it. So I need to show that the truck is gone. So I need to credit my truck for $39,550. Debit the accumulated depreciation for my new total. I'm crediting truck, but I don't know the exact term that Wiley Plus is going to have you use. What's left? Obviously, my journal entry doesn't equal.
The book value?
Well, yeah, the book value, and what do we call that? Huh? Loss on disposal, exactly, for the book value.
$458.
I'll just show you something as well. I don't have a print off on this one because it was just too long to print off. But just to give you a little bit of a heads up on the problem, the last one on this week's assignments. Note, this is the only thing that is due this time. Okay, so remember, just go over here real quick. The week 10. So you need to use this extra time once you get the regular homework done to make sure that your take-home project would definitely be started by the end of this week. If it's not, then you're going to be pressed. And then I would also, over the weekend and before class, have gone through the review sheet. If you come into class and you haven't done any of the review sheet for week 11, you're not going to know what you don't know. And you're not going to really have a good idea of what you want to review on Tuesday for the exam. So I would have gone through all of the review because the review will be very similar to how the exam's laid out. If you can do the review, then you should have no problem with the exam portion, at least the problem portion. Okay, so it's kind of like a practice test. If you do the practice test and use all your notes, you may not do as good on the test though. So try to do the test, try to do the review like you would on the test.
We're reviewing on Tuesday for the test on Thursday?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
The test is on Thursday.
And I also, for this test, I allow you to have a page of notes. Page of notes. Okay. For this one, remember how I stressed continually when we had the gift card example? What did I tell you you have to do in the gift card example, otherwise you're not going to get it?
T account.
T account. You're going to have to do that on this one. Each one of these, you should have a T account going, and then the building's going to have 2 of them, and the equipment's going to have 2 of them. Because you're going to do stuff to those as you progress through the year. Then you're going to have updated balances, and at the end, it's going to want you to redo this part of the balance sheet with your new numbers. And the only thing that I really wanted to bring to your attention is this one on July 1. At the end of the year, it's going to tell you need to go ahead and depreciate all of these. And it tells you, down in the wording down here, what the useful lives are, like the building, 50 years. So you're going to do another year based on a 50-year life on this guy. And then you're going to do buildings over, I think it's 40 years. Building's 50, equipment's 10. Equipment's 10. You're going to base this off of another 10, using 10-year life. So as you're going through, just for an example, you're going to have a T account for the building. And just to make it easy, I'm just going to say 28 million because you don't have the printout anyway. So just pretend it was 28 million instead of the extra. After you, let's pretend we didn't do anything else with the building. Nothing. It's going to want to know how much should you have put in as additional accumulated depreciation. It's going to say, what is your depreciation expense and your accumulated depreciation for the building? Well, you're simply going to take this, the 28 million, and I don't believe there's any salvage value, so mine is nothing, over 50 years to get your depreciation expense to add in for 2014. What I wanted to draw your attention to, though, was this one, July 1. When you're doing the equipment, it may help you to have 2 T accounts going. One for the old stuff, and then you can do it all in one T account. That's how you're really supposed to. But when you go and do this piece of equipment right here, this equipment here, I'm just going to, again, round here, 47 million. And of course, you're going to have to depreciate this equipment another year. But when you do this T account down here, July 1, it says you purchased more equipment for approximately 2.5 million. And you add that in to 2.5 million here. And then you say, okay, my equipment that I'm going to have to depreciate is worth $49,500,000. You don't want to depreciate all 49.5 million in one lump sum. Why?
Because you already did the depreciation for the 47.
Because what?
You already depreciated 7 at 47 million.
Right. I wanted this stuff here. I had all year. This stuff I only had for half of a year. That's the key to this one. When you're going through and finally updating all your depreciation entries after you've sold some stuff and bought some stuff, make sure you remember that this guy here, most of it you can divide by 10 years, because everything in the equipment's 10 years, and have 47 million over 10. So 4.7 million depreciation. But you're going to need to add this guy separate and do him a little different. 2.5 million over 10 years, but then cut that in half because you only had it for a half a year.